Welcome to Psych with Sigmund, where we explore the fascinating world of psychology and uncover the secrets of the human mind. Today, we're going to delve into a concept that affects us all, the just world hypothesis. This idea suggests that we tend to believe the world is a just and fair place, where good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. But what does this mean exactly, and why is it so important in psychology? To understand the just world hypothesis, let's start with its origins. This concept was first introduced by social psychologist Melvin Lerner in the 1960s. Lerner proposed that people have a fundamental need to believe in a just world where individuals get what they deserve. This belief helps us make sense of the world and provides a sense of control over our lives. So, how does the just world hypothesis work? Let's consider an example. Imagine you're driving home from work when you see someone cut off another driver. Your initial reaction might be to think that the person who got cut off must have done something wrong or that they deserved it in some way. This is a classic illustration of the just world hypothesis at work. We tend to assume that bad things happen to people because they are somehow flawed or deserving of punishment. But what about when bad things happen to good people? How do we reconcile this with our belief in a just world? One way we cope is by rationalizing the situation. For instance, if someone gets sick despite being a kind and caring person, we might say that it's because they didn't take care of themselves or that they were somehow responsible for their own illness. This helps us maintain our belief in a just world, even when reality doesn't quite fit. The just world hypothesis is closely related to other psychological concepts, such as cognitive dissonance and the fundamental attribution error. Cognitive dissonance occurs when we experience discomfort or tension because our beliefs are inconsistent with reality. To reduce this discomfort, we often change our beliefs or rationalize the situation. The fundamental attribution error, on the other hand, is the tendency to attribute someone's behavior to their character rather than to situational factors. Research has shown that the just world hypothesis can have both positive and negative effects on our lives. On the one hand, believing in a just world can motivate us to work hard and strive for success, as we believe that our efforts will be rewarded. On the other hand, it can also lead to victim blaming and a lack of empathy for those who are suffering. For example, studies have shown that people who strongly believe in a just world are more likely to blame victims of rape or domestic violence for their own circumstances. This is because they assume that the victim must have done something to deserve what happened to them. Similarly, research has found that people who believe in a just world are less likely to support social welfare programs or help those in need, as they assume that people are responsible for their own success or failure. But how can we use this knowledge to improve our lives and the lives of others? By recognizing the just world hypothesis at work, we can become more empathetic and compassionate towards those who are struggling. We can also challenge our own biases and assumptions and work to create a more just and equitable society. In therapeutic settings, the just world hypothesis has been used to help clients overcome feelings of guilt and shame. By recognizing that their circumstances are not necessarily a reflection of their worth or character, clients can begin to rebuild their sense of self-esteem and self-worth. For instance, a client who has experienced a traumatic event may struggle with feelings of guilt or shame, assuming that they must have done something to deserve what happened. By challenging these assumptions and recognizing the role of chance and circumstance, therapists can help clients develop a more realistic and compassionate understanding of themselves and their place in the world. As we conclude our exploration of the just world hypothesis, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question. What would happen if we didn't believe in a just world? Would we be more anxious and fearful, or would we be more motivated to create positive change in the world? Perhaps by acknowledging the complexity and uncertainty of life, we can develop a more realistic and compassionate understanding of ourselves and others. That's all for today's Psych with Sigmund. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, may your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.